Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, what's poppin'? Wake up!
What?
Y'all know the drill.
This is one of my favorite weeks of the year because the Monday of Super Bowl week, a lot of announcements come out.
Yeah.
And so one league-wide announcements. And so an announcement made earlier by Roger Goodell that there's going to be a game in Paris, France. Right. Unfortunately, the Cowboys are not going to play in it, at least this year. Mm-hmm. It'll be Cleveland and the New Orleans Saints, of course, with their fleur-de-lis. Mm-hmm. And so, but that's exciting as the NFL continues to expand, and we're hopeful. You know, there's also, they announced a contract to have a game annually in Madrid, Spain. And so we've been waiting too long to go back internationally. So we've got to get one of these games at some point this year or next year.
For Dallas?
For Dallas, yeah.
I was wondering why. Is it a conflict of interest? Is that why?
To go to
To be in another
like
country?
Another country? Probably because we have
Is it not as profitable for Dallas?
Well,
or
what
like,
happens,
that's what I'm asking.
So, like, the league covers your costs, I believe, for, like, travel and stuff like that, but you don't want to give up a home game because necessarily, and the way when they went to an unbalanced schedule where you have 17 games, so 1 year your conference will have 9 home games, the next year you would have 8 home games. So the way that they're doing it now is it would be you would lose your home game, you know, because you'd be playing internationally as one of your home games. It would be the year that you have 9 home games, right? Yeah. So you'd still get 8 in your home stadium.
Yeah. I think that's part of the reason why we ain't out.
All right, it's okay because we still have stuff going on here in Dallas. The Cowboys filling out their defensive staff. They have hired Ryan Smith. Of course, we touched on it during the show. We actually had some breaking news. That was pretty freaking dope last week. And they also hired Derek Ansley, former pass game coordinator from the Green Bay Packers. Talk a little bit about this hire. What does it do for this I guess first reactions for this hire, Aisha?
How do you feel? I mean, I was just like, okay, they sticking with the trend. I mean, they're not playing about, again, that we talked about it, kind of thinking outside the box. Kind of, if I'm not mistaken, they're interviewing some college guys too for some of the other positions. So, just staying open, and also too, one thing that Steven said, he used the word thorough. That is what is going on right now. This is it seems like. It's a longer process than what I thought it was going to be. I thought they would be secured. Some people, did you ladies feel like maybe that by now, but I guess not.
Yeah, it's definitely a break from past norms.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They want to make sure they're touching all their bases. It seems like I'm going to still I need to still do some digging about the gentleman and his past. I know that Green Bay secondary has had some highs and some lows in different times, so I'll look into what his impact was. But as a whole, it's just following the trend of we stand.
Yeah. I think they set the tone when they hired Christian Parker. I was like, okay, they could do anything at this point. So I was just excited and trying to keep up with all the names. And I think just all the names in general is a big step from what we've seen. I feel like normally it's like 1 or 2 people. Okay, just kind of you flip a coin on who do you think is going to be here. But they've had a long list of candidates. And to your point, Super Bowl week, and it's, still coming together. But I think one thing about having looked into what he was able to do or what the stats were when he was over there. Last 2 seasons in Green Bay, finished 13th and 11th in the NFL in passing yards allowed. Both those guys, I know Smith broke with our last one, but Ansley as well, they both have a lot of college experience. One thing that I noted, sorry, I don't know what. It's fine. It's okay. I got a frog in here. But his experience at the college level, what stood out is that he was able to have that DC role. And that's something that Parker doesn't have. Not saying like going to the SEC to the NFL is a smooth transition, but if you want a college guy, he has a long line of stats coming from the college level, from the SEC we all know SEC
They're
kind
not
of.
playing about this secondary.
Yeah.
We are not getting passed on all
Yeah,
year.
yeah. The first thing I did, because we haven't had a chance to interview, they call him DA, right? Derek Ansley.
Oh, that's
So Coach DA.
Sounds
And,
serious.
you know,
Kinda cool.
went to
About business.
Yeah, you know, just went online and found as many old interviews as I could find from times before Green Bay, but even like with the Chargers and at University of Tennessee. And he's a little bit older than our new defensive coordinator. I believe he's 41 years old.
And that's old.
Now, yeah, that's all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow.
That's so funny.
But yeah, just a lot of the energy and there were a lot of like the mic'd ups, right, where it shows them not just during the games, but at practices and the like, and just that kind of energy and the things that we saw that were new and fresh to us last year, watching Cowboys practices and at training camp with that youthful energy among the coaching staff. That's what you saw, and just all the things he had to say, you know, working with the defensive backfield and talking about the mentality of, you know, being aggressive and playing the ball and all that kind of stuff. So I like what I've seen so far. I just look forward to the opportunity to talk to them one-on-one.
On the surface level, one of the first things that I noticed when I first started doing my bare minimum digging was his success with the safety position. Is that he has, you know, helped programs in their safety position. We talk about Christian Parker really coming in here and nurturing the cornerback room and then things like that. I think this gentleman has the ability to really tune into the safeties. We've seen even when he was at Tennessee, the safety play was higher level. And then so I'm looking for him to maybe they kind of, you know,
Yeah.
mix it together, because we've talked about it. This safety room could look different. There's a lot. The safety class
Yeah. That's
is safety class, and
Yeah,
yes.
You're high on them.
I'm
Yeah, very
excited. I'm ready for Dallas to value the safety position. I think the NFL has devalued it. We've been talking about it on the draft side. And if this guy is a gentleman that values it, they're bringing him in. Hopefully Dallas can. It rubs off on Dallas a little bit moving forward, because the good defenses, as we know.
So let me ask you something. Is it time for Dallas to move on from a Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker? Or do you feel as if they're going to be key for these younger guys that are coming in to kind of mold that safety room?
I'm curious. I mean,
I don't know
it
what their
depends on.
contracts look like either.
I think Malik has
Donovan's
one more year.
Yeah,
Donovan's a free agent.
Donovan's a free agent.
I
Malik
think
has one more year
Malik
on his
has one
contract.
more year. But Christy, are you able to look and see
Yeah,
if
I'm
Dallas
gonna-
was
I'm gonna
wanted
pull
to
up.
get out of that 1 year deal if they could? But I'm not sure. I don't think they're going to start from scratch. Just I would see out of both
Ease
of those
out,
gentlemen.
especially when your corners are so young.
Yes,
They're
I
all
would
in
think
front of you.
Malik Hooker might be a gentleman that they continue to keep around. But I expect some changes, and if they can't schematically do some of the stuff that they're asking for, Dallas is going to go find the guys that can.
Yeah, so
because that's what they did. That's what Christian Parker. That's what they did at Philly.
Yeah.
They got those guys that are a little longer in the tooth out of there. Went heavy at corner,
And it's
in
gonna
the
be
drafts.
it's gonna be a transition. I know everyone's excited about changes coming and different schemes, but we talked about it last show a little bit about Christian Parker's viral moment, talking about how he wants to look the same to the QB. He doesn't want to look the same to us. Meaning, there's going to be a lot of changes coming post snap. That's going to be a big difference with this defense. About the guys really having to learn how to trust their eyes if you're talking post-snap changes. And I like that both these hires are lateral, which isn't always the biggest goal for the coach. But I think for the team, when you're making a lateral move, there's not a big jump. Like, this is what they do. But when you're promoting every year, then even more bumps and bruises. So I like that this is their bread and butter, because it's going to be a change for these guys. So I think it's going to be key, to your point with the safeties, to at least have one of those veterans in the room when all these changes are coming.
Yeah, and
Or they bring one.
Malik with his final year, if you look, and I'm looking at SportTrack.com right now, but the current active roster, Malik would be the 10th highest paid in terms of contract cap hit. So he's number 10. It's $8.9 million, at just under 3% of the cap. If he were not to be on the team, his dead cap charge would be $2 million. He's actually, this is his final year. With Donovan Wilson being a free agent, he actually was your 6th highest cap hit last year. He's been well compensated the past few years. And so to answer your original question, Nicole, about what do you think what's going to happen with the safety position. I think I agree that Malik, you want to have that veteran presence, and that's not that huge of a cap hit relatively. But with Donovan, it's going to be financial.
Yeah.
It's going. Unfortunately, at the very end, it's going to be a financial decision because you have a lot invested in your defensive backfield at cornerback with Deron Bland, and that's a high hit. So,
and you can't forget about the extension they signed Marquise Bell to. So there's a lot of guys in that room where.
I think the whole room's gonna flip.
You think so?
Absolutely. I mean, only because what he is asking, Bree, you make a fantastic point. If you can't do it,
can't do it.
You can't do it. I'm watching corners right now for this draft. There's some guys that are fantastic in zone, have a natural feel, have natural instincts, and some guys just don't have it like that. In Dallas, most of these gentlemen in this secondary are predominantly man-forward players. And I think some of the things that, maybe Christian Parker is going to be asking some of these guys to do, to come from range, to come from depth, it's a lot. I really am it's going to make or break what this secondary is. And so we'll see whether Dallas decides to attack this maybe in free agency. And that may look like Donovan's a free agent. It might look like bringing him back or going out and get another gentleman. There are some DBs in this free agency class. I know we'll get into it, later, maybe another time, that are going to be available that might be better fits for what Dallas wants to do moving forward. So y'all just keep your eyes on the safety position.
On a swivel, because you don't never know
on a swivel.
All right, we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Up next, we are going to dive into Senior Bowl, some of the things that, Stephen Jones mentioned, Will McClay had mentioned, and some of the guys that stood out, too. We didn't get a chance to really break that down last week. So we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, and be right back.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Get excited for the most dazzling DCC experience. Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Live is coming to a theater near you. Witness iconic group and solo performances, enjoy an on-stage Q&A session, and even be a part of a live audition. For dates and tickets, visit DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour.
Welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, and as promised, breaking down Senior Bowl. But do want to make sure we touch on one of the most important things from Senior Bowl was the talks of George Pickens and trying to retain him in free agency. Hello, Jory Epstein. Shout out to her for this lovely report from Yahoo Sports. She had talked to Stephen Jones one-on-one and mentioned that a lot of the DC interviews further instilled a lot of confidence of why they want to retain Pickens, because they all talked about how much Pickens and CeeDee Lamb created so many problems for them. Now, she also reported that they don't really know whether they want to sign him to a 1-year or multi-year extension, or 1-year or multi-year deal, excuse me. But, I mean, ladies, what do y'all think should happen?
Do y'all think he's done enough? I feel like I've listened
Production-wise, yeah.
I feel like I've talked to a couple scouts. I've kind of kept my ears low to the ground, and there is a general consensus that yes, he had this good year, but the people still want to see more from him, from a maturity level and consistency and all those good things. Do y'all think he's done enough?
That's fair.
Do y'all think he's done enough for Dallas to be confident in moving forward in him? Because I think that the production is too insane.
Yeah.
That's not, you don't just roll out of bed and just be able to do what he did this past year in a new system. I think the production's enough, the talent's enough. But for y'all ladies, has he done enough for Dallas to be like, we're committing to you for 3 years?
Yeah, I think that his reputation from Pittsburgh is a drag on him.
Yeah.
I think it's a red flag. And as awesome as things were this year, but things were going well for the offense.
That's fair.
You know? What about when things aren't going so well?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think it's going to be more up to George and his representation and what they decide to do, because if you're betting on yourself and you don't want to take the long term, you bet on yourself, you have another good year. You think what you get now is going to be good as the cap continues to go up. We'll talk about in a little bit. It's going up over $20 million this year. They just signed a deal with NFL, with Disney and ESPN that's over $1 billion. I mean, it's going to go up ridiculously high when the contracts are renegotiated. Broadcasting, man, if you bet on yourself and go short term now, it would be even more astronomical if you have a good year and wait until another year to do a long term deal. So
I don't think it's the question's obviously to us right now if we think he did enough on the field. I think he thinks he did enough, and I think his agent, who's very well known in this business, think he did enough. So I think it's numbers. I think it's all numbers, just the way they've been talking about him all season. And 100%. I mean, it wasn't that long ago he was benched for missing curfew. Like, that's not what you want.
3 minutes.
When you're longest. But yeah, to your point, they sat him and they brought him back in. I would argue that, I know it wasn't like he had a lot of bad games, but there was some games that were like, just like CD had. And as soon as that happened, people next to me are like, oh, well, that's going to be up in the conversation. But I think the games that he dropped off, if I'm not mistaken, CD wasn't in the game. So I think part of maybe on the other side is Pickens shines more when CD's in the game, because CD is changing how we're talking about how the defenses have to play. So I don't know, to your point, Nicole, if the front office, when you're talking about a little bit of attitude, maturity, if you will, off the field. On the field, we know what he can do, but I think CeeDee Lamb this is CeeDee Lamb's team, because it looks different when CeeDee Lamb is not on the field regardless.
Yeah, I thought that Pickens carried the load pretty well, though, when he had to start. Yeah, when he had to start. I think he was a little banged up, and he didn't mention anything, because when you go look at the film, there was a couple times he's not, people were taking it as, he's not running full routes, but if you go look up, you see he's going to throw a block and say, he got to put on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think he was a little banged up. And
that's stuff internal too, we don't know.
Yeah. So I think that's just where I'm at, where I feel like from our perspective, the production is there. We talked about, Steven and these gentlemen are very aware of what he does, his impact on the field, but it sounds like there's just still this concern about committing to this person. Do I know enough about them to commit to them? I mean, how do we say this nicely? I feel like in the NFL, we've seen way too many times where a guy is awesome, he got a few behavioral things, but I guess it's gauging how bad are these behavioral things. I mean, I don't want a guy to be late to curfew.
Yes,
but we know
but we know.
And that's what I was
he
going
can
to
do
say.
when he gets here. When he
It
does get
depends
here.
on what is important to this organization because you can't. We've said this before. You can't preach culture
And then
culture,
bend it, yeah.
and then bend it for some players. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be.
But that's
the
kinda
same
how-
entire.
But that's
it-
how this
it's
league
been.
is, though.
That's
I
how
don't think it's
been,
going to
but
change in
it's like-
2026.
That's my point is I think that's another part of it.
That's
is
just the way it goes.
what am I willing? It's like when you dating. Hey,
What am I willing to accept?
what am I willing to deal with? Is
And
this gonna drive me
not
nuts?
that's not just NFL. That's high school.
Life.
That's college.
Yeah.
That's everything.
And I think
everything in
that's-
life.
That's
every
where they
aspect of
are.
life.
I think that's where they are. Production's there. I do feel like he has taken a step forward as it's just as an open person and being here and things. Had a few little slip ups. He learned the playbook.
Yeah.
And you know how I know he learned the playbook? Because he came in here and he did things that he has not done. Running routes he hasn't done. Looks he hasn't done. And also, too, he's not the most active in the blocking game, but he tries.
Yep.
He tries. And so I'm just like, I see a football player. I see a football player. I see somebody that wants to win. I see somebody, and again, if you don't think he's committed, look at the film and look at what he has learned throughout the time. The fact that he was able to be kind of put into the, like him and Dak weren't on the same page. Man, CD went out, they was like, oh, watch this. And they got after it.
I love their energy together too. I think that's what makes this duo what it is. You can't fake that. Okay, Philly taught us that. You can't fake the chemistry on your offense side of the ball. But I will say with his age and what he deserves and what I also think he deserves to get paid. And if you remember what he said midway through the season is it wasn't like I gotta be here to, like, yeah, he would like to stay here. He likes it here. But he said, kind of freely.
I know my word.
They said, what was his exact words?
Well, he would say, like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, like
Coming back, I'm fine with it.
I was looking like,
So chill.
Like, he would be too.
yeah. But best believe if someone else is going higher, as he should, he deserves. And I mean, his agent, like, that's gonna. I'm sorry, like, if that agent's in my ear, I'm like, I do deserve to be the highest paid. wide
See, but
receiver.
but I'm telling you, the consensus is that even when the Steelers started making calls and getting on the phone and saying, "Hey, we trying to get rid of this dude," they didn't get that many calls back. And I'm not knocking Pickens. I think he's great.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with it. What I'm saying is what I think the league feels like, which might be unfair. Like, is a year enough time for a guy to show what he's capable of? Is that fair? Like,
I think
much
there'll be a
longer?
real fight for Pickens this season because he isn't the same Pickens.
Exactly.
that's what I think.
His tape looks a lot
within-
different here.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Within the room, how do you come back to your players and staff and say, we're all in, this is where, and you don't bring back the guy
Yeah.
who makes such a difference for
You
your
need the
offense? The
encouragement.
players
Yeah.
know who the best
I think
players
the
are
mood
and
goes
the effect
down
that they have on the
automatically.
game. So,
Yeah.
and how do you, and the fan base too.
They like,
Oh, yeah.
Big
The
pick.
fan base as well.
Please.
Big pick,
So
not the
so
little
so
one.
don't talk about
Yeah.
we're doing and then
I agree.
and the other thing we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago. What did Clayton Adams, Cowboys offensive coordinator, say in his final press conference of the season when he was asked about what you're going to work on in the offseason? He talked about having 2 number 1 receivers. And what did he say? Not just with like route concepts and stuff, but how it affects the running game. So get it done so that because it's going to inform everything that you're working on this offseason in terms of planning for the coming new season.
Yeah, you bring up a great point because they have. I want to bring up Javonte Williams as well, but first, let's just remind her of what Pickens did last year. Set career highs in catches, 93, receiving yards, 1,429, and touchdowns with 9. Earned him his first Pro Bowl berth. All right, Javonte Williams, the Cowboys. Per Calvin Watkins, he did say that they have had convos with one convo with Javonte Williams, but he needs to finalize an agent, which I do believe he was with Nicole Lynn. Don't know what happened there, but so conversations have been had with Javonte. Hopefully, he does get an agent soon, so he can further those conversations and finalize those. But
They waiting for him to get agent. Look at them. Oh,
right?
What happened?
Growth.
They not talking to him by himself. That's sweet.
I'm sick of you.
Alleged-
Javonte Williams.
allegedly.
Keeping him as well goes back to what you were mentioning with what Clayton Adams wants to do with the running game, with the receivers. But keeping a guy like Javonte, I mean, how crucial is that as well, ladies?
Really, he reached every incentive, right?
Yeah.
You got an extra $500,000 for surpassing the incentives in terms of rushing yards and touchdowns and the like. And I think it's that he's an every down back and that he's your most trusted pass protector.
Talk about it.
And that is not always the case in the NFL. In fact, it's kind of unusual, because sometimes it's the backup guy that they'll send in, a third down back because they trust him, not only going out in the route and catching the ball, but in terms of being able to protect in certain pass situations. So he's an all-round player. He's the bell cow, great attitude. I think he won coaches and teammates and fans over. So, yeah, it's obviously it's going to be a numbers game. We say that about all of them, but I just don't know if it's $10 million or more. Can you commit that much money to him on average?
Yeah.
Is he going to come in at around the $9 million mark or so?
I hope they figure out how to get him to like a
multi-year deal.
7, 8-ish, probably closer to 8-ish, and maybe some incentives, so maybe some bonuses, things like that. But I agree. I mean, pass protect, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, when you're talking about trying to preserve this quarterback, the idea of bringing in another guy that doesn't know the calls, has to learn the checks, to already have a gentleman in here that knows how to do that is crucial. And especially, too, we're still trying to figure out, we don't even know what's happening with the tackle position just yet. Yeah. We don't know how comfortable they are with guiding moving forward. Are they going to move him to the right side? Is Terrence still even going to be here? Amen. All that extra protection from that running back is important. So I agree. I feel like they're going to try to figure out how to keep him here. I'm glad that they're trying to figure out how to do it, because I just don't want to start bare bones from the running back room. I don't want to start from scratch. It didn't help you this year. I don't think it's going to help you any other year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and there's some gratitude there from him as well. I think, him revamping his career here means something to him. I think it means something to him, and hearing him talk about it. So, yeah, I want to bring Javonte Williams back for sure.
I mean, it's all money at this point. I mean, everybody can't stay, especially when you're trying to build the other side of the ball, and you're going to have to make some moves in free agency. I know Christy's going to get into the cap space a little bit and what the extra money will do, but I mean, that goes up every year, and there's always issues with this team when it comes to restructuring, which I feel like they don't do a ton of to make those moves. So maybe that does look different this season. I do think it's going to be hard to rally, not just taking Javonte Williams' names out, just running back. That position overall feels a little bit underappreciated around the league. Like, guys have been really rallying for themselves and been kind of going back and forth with the league behind the scenes for that for years, because they don't last that long. You're like a dump truck running into another dump truck all season long. So I hope he gets paid. I think he makes a big part of what this offense is. We keep talking about the foundations. I think it would be great to bring Pickens and Williams back, but I think everyone can agree, like, get Pickens. Like, that's what we need first, because Williams' contract isn't as substantial, if you will. But like to Chrissy's point, you're talking 10, 11.
But some of the ranges you'll see anywhere from like 7.5 to 9, and some will say, could he command 10?
Yeah, and he deserves
and
to
the
get
Cowboys,
paid
I don't
too.
think they can. They just can't do that.
Like,
I don't.
everybody can't.
But if you're able to get it where you can average it out to where it's, 7 to 8 or
7.5.
yeah,
I think
7.5
that's kinda
and
in
stuff
there.
like that, and give a nice bonus, because you're absolutely right about the length of a running back's career, and he's already has gone through that with a knee. That his situation is different than a Pickens in terms of maybe going for some guaranteed money, right, and a big bonus to start off with, because so.
But we know Schottenheimer
I think
loves
it's a different kind of tact in terms of it could be the approach to the contract.
He's young too, though. Yes.
Yes. Uh huh.
Yeah, I mean,
27?
Javonte
I
is
believe
still.
he's 27.
He's 25 years
25?
old.
He's a
You gotta
baby.
age him.
He'll be 26 when the season
I was
starts
close.
next
Okay.
season.
So he's still fairly young as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
I would be down for it.
And
but-
we remember what it looked like 2 seasons ago, to your point of not having a true running back in here and just throwing stuff and hoping it sticks, because now you have Jaden Blue and Phil
I'm sick
Moffa.
of you bringing up the past.
I said what I said.
But see, that's the thing, though, is you can, since there's so much youth behind them, you don't have that much money allocated to running back, and so you can go heavier at the top because you've got the young guys behind him.
Yeah, can you actually dive into the new salary cap, because it is changed
Christy.
drastically from this year?
To me, that was the biggest news of the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it was last Friday when it came out. But last year, it jumped over $20 million to hit $279 million, and this year it's going to jump even more. The NFL told teams that the projection for the salary cap in 2026 is between $301 million and $305.7 million, and that is so that the teams can go ahead and start making plans for that. Now, the Cowboys, as it stands right now, are $31 million over that, so it's a lot of adjustments are going to happen. Don't worry about
Over
it.
$300 million.
Yeah, they're like at $359 million right now with cap space. So they're
It's
over.
like it was monopoly money.
Well, it is monopoly money. It really is at this point. And the way that it works is you have 90 players on a roster in the offseason, and only the top 51 count against the cap. But anyway, the point is you're going to have an extra up to $25 million this year compared to the 2025 cap. So let's look at, for example, that would be more than your entire rookie class. Right now, the Cowboys with 2 first-round picks, they don't have a second-round pick, but right now their cap hit would be just over $14 million. So that's like your whole, you can, depends how you want to look at it. It can either cover all of your dead cap space, including the $16 million to Zach Martin. It could include your rookie cap, everything to your draft class plus another $10 million. You could look at it as, that's an extra Quinnen Williams contract there, or that's money to put towards Pickens and or Javonte Williams. But the point is, it's good because the Cowboys are going to be up against it, and that's just huge news. And because of what I was saying before about renegotiated contracts coming with broadcast rights and everything, even though they go through the end of the decade, a lot of people think they're going to be renegotiated starting this coming season. The point is it's going to go up and up and up and up, and the next year and the next year and the next year will be at least 25 million or so. So, that bodes well if you decide to do these longer term contracts with the Pickens and the like. So it's good news from a Cowboys standpoint.
Money.
Please. I know they were talking about Pickens and Javonte Williams, but pretty sure Clowney was definitely the talk of trying to extend before what the season-ending presser as well. So now you got to factor that in as well with where do you prioritize. Of course, Pickens should be up first, Williams, and then Clowney, but I don't know how they're going to.
They better give him $1. Shoot. Give him a couple dollars.
Couple dollars.
He need it.
A couple?
I wonder what he'd be asked, like what his contract, like what he would ask.
Let me go look at the median. I
was kind of thinking that.
Because, he's more deserving. A lot of guys would just take the veteran minimum, but he's probably the more deserving of that, given his performance this past year. So it might be a little bit more than what the veteran minimum was. What is that?
Yeah. When they brought him in, let's see what he got.
1 year.
This past year, he signed for 1 year, $3.5 million. The incentives would be up to $6.5 million. But the problem was for him, those incentives were tied to playoffs. And since they didn't make the playoffs,
I bet you
he didn't.
He's sick.
He didn't hit it.
That's wild. I'd be mad.
But I wonder too. But in fairness, with Dallas, Clowney, you go look at that Ravens film. It wasn't that. It wasn't to the standard he played at this year was higher than I'd seen him play in the previous 2 years. When I went to look at him, I couldn't figure it out. But I feel like the pursuit to the ball, the reading the run, the hand tech and stuff like that. He's needed too. Those guys need those young edges, especially if Dallas might go get another edge. Yeah. It's very possible.
Oh, they
might
have
draft
to.
it.
They have to.
If they
You can't
draft
count
another
on a guy
edge,
that old playing. No, I'm serious.
it's true.
I'm
They
not
need
being
some of
mean.
these need some of these nuggets to take a step. Now I'm being messy. Are they going to? I mean, but they just can't have no edges.
Yeah, they tried that.
We can't have no edges.
You see what you
We
did there?
can.
I got edges.
I mean,
Same.
if you're talking about bringing back Clowney, Izaraku,
You ain't bringing.
And then who?
You're not bringing back Fowler. I
You're
don't.
probably
think they're
not bringing
Or
back
Sam
Fowler.
Williams.
Or Sam Williams.
Are you gonna bring back Sam?
Well, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying though. How do we know they don't want to bring back Sam?
They may it all depends
might
on
have
what he
to.
I was
commands.
gonna say.
They also
Depends on what
might
he
have
commands
to
in the market.
Yeah, if he doesn't command that much, but they might have to if they don't have like a lot of depth pieces. And in fairness, I did see improvement from Sam in certain areas this past year. I do. I
I
felt
think
like
consistency is the issue with Sam.
Absolutely.
I thought he played better on special teams. Then.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering what the
Towards the
heck
end
they
of the
think this
season.
defensive end room is going to be like. I agree with you. It needs to start with Izaraku and Clowney at the very least. If you go get a rook, fine, but that's still not enough. You still got to figure
Yeah.
out how to get some rotational guys in there.
Because Clowney, again, just some of the estimates on what he might command, 6-7 million, base or average. So, is that affordable? Yeah, but again, with his age and mileage, and I thought he was the best defensive end, obviously, last year for the Cowboys, as Izaraku makes his way in the league, but he would be best served as you could use him more situationally and not have to count on.
Yeah, I don't see them
45 plays a game.
bringing in this defensive coaching staff and looking at Clowney as a starter. Like, this team is great if they can make Clowney a rotational guy.
He would be
that
awesome.
excites
That's
me.
what you got to do.
He was banged up he was on that injury list most of the season, as he should be. And, a lot of jokes in there, but that man was hurting after the game. But he wants to be here. He has left in the tank.
And he played
proved-
well
he
against the
proved-
run overall, I mean,
Yeah.
compared to the others.
But I 100%. They need a starter on that other side,
I agree.
and then bring him as a rotational, and that's a whole new defense already up there. Like
Yeah.
that's instead of showing all your chips and what you have, and you have nothing else to bring in, and then maybe Sam does stay, and he becomes, someone you can count on consistently, because you also don't know. I think even the linebacker room sometimes when we looked at it, because it was so bad, it's like, what are they seeing? But there could be things, and it was kind of like certain players were continuously being asked about Schottenheimer, and he kind of made it clear, like, what you see on tape isn't necessarily what we're being seen. There's other guys missing assignments that you may not see or things like that. So there's nobody that stood out, right? So we look at it like everybody got to go. But that may not be what the coaches are seeing,
That's what I was saying.
and have some coaches in here who can coach these guys up.
Can I be messy?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Everybody has a chance.
What has Sam Williams done to prove that he needs to stay here for you ladies?
That he needs to stay here?
Yeah, like what has he shown you guys that is enough for him to stay here in Dallas? Okay. We're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk Boys
ain't
Talk,
right.
presented by Invisalign and the SWBC studio. We'll be right back to wrap up the show.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
Cowboys Nation, Tom Gibson has been named your 2025 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan, for his dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Tom to be named the ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
Welcome back into Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Chrissy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, actually the chat is talking to us. They asked us, do you think James Houston will stay? We didn't even mention James.
I thought about him at the end. Maybe.
Yeah.
You need a rotation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fair.
yeah, I mean, we'll see.
What's else out there?
There might be. Or maybe one of these coaches get one of their old guys from their team to come over here. We always think it's going to be a linebacker. Maybe it's a linebacker in the defensive line.
I just thought about what Jack said. That's James Houston. He has to go back.
Sicko.
That was my favorite quote.
Real fast before we do finish up here on Girls Talk Boys Talk, were there any guys that stocks went up after the Senior Bowl? I know that wrapped up last week, so we didn't get a chance to really touch on it a little bit. But who are the guys that kind of stood out to you?
Who's going to help us? That's what we want to know.
My Lord.
That too. Lord.
There are a couple, again, we talked about it. This edge class, I think, is impressive. There's a lot of variety from this edge class. We're going to get more information as these coaches get in here on what schematically this defense is going to look like and how different it's going to look. But we talk about the linebacker and edge class. I mean, Pittsburgh linebacker Kyle Lewis, my gosh, y'all. I mean, this is a real tough sideline. I mean, people say sideline on the sideline, and what that means is just this guy can go from one side of the field to the other in a hurry, can cover a lot of grass, extremely productive in his time with Pittsburgh. I think that this gentleman can come in and make a difference on your defense immediately. He's one of the only true Mikes that are in this class. Dallas is looking for a Mike. They've been needing a Mike. I'm ready for Dallas now. I think Dallas is going to go the veteran route with the Mike. I think they bring in somebody to do that. But I thought that Maris Leofold would be that. And I'm really curious to see who is going to help him develop into that spot. Also, too, another gentleman, Zion Young, the Mizzou edge. He was the guy that won the MVP for the Senior Bowl this year, the other day. Now, guys, Dallas not having a second and third round pick is killing me.
Could change.
They gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, could change.
Because I'm telling you, if Dallas decides to get a wide receiver, I think that some of those wide receivers are gonna fall. It's a deep class. I think some of these guys are gonna fall into the third and fourth round. Some of these edges, this is a deep class. I just think that third and fourth round is gonna be so rich. I'm really hoping Dallas figures out a way to do it. But the Mizzou edge, Zion Young, he just really broke down every offensive lineman in 101s. The hand usage and the way he's able to disengage, he's very lengthy, so he's able to get guys, separate guys.
Did they have him rushing standing up? Or
He
was
does. He does
on the ground,
He
or
does
he
a
can
mix
do
of both. He
Okay.
does a mix of both.
Okay.
He's 6'5", 262 pounds, which, like I said, he has super long arms. He's very heavy-handed. He helps in run support. He has a really good steady anchor, so he's able to drop his booty. When he needs to take
so he
on
can set an edge, maybe?
Yes, he can set an edge, take on contact, and also too, he's strong enough to push the pocket. Like I said, I love his hand usage. He's typically consistent in where he's striking at. Now this is a kid that did have some issues. He did have a DUI and some issues, but the talent is there. If a team wants to take a chance on him, I think I'm only mentioning him because of the issues. Maybe he falls. And Dallas decides if they don't go edge early, which I'm hoping they do, but if they don't go edge early, if this guy's falling, maybe we see a team take him, and maybe that's Dallas. Depending on how far he falls, because I don't know. I think there is some concern about his the DUI arrest and some of those things, but the talent. The Senior Bowl, you asked who raised their stock.
That's fair.
A guy that has some behavior stuff rose his stock at the Senior Bowl and performing and being as talented as he is. Mizzou edge Zion Young, I think that he's going to get people's attention as this process goes on, despite the trouble he had.
So if he doesn't fall, what range do you think
I think he's going to be in the second or third if he doesn't fall.
Okay.
But even that's
like
where
early second?
I would say
Mid-second?
more so mid-second. There's too
Mid-second?
many, maybe late second, because there's so
Right where the Cowboys would be if they had a second.
if they had a second. But I will say, if he falls, I wonder if a team tries to figure out, if it's Dallas or not, tries to figure out how to get into the fourth or late in the third to grab him, because the talent is insane. So I'm worried about it, but we'll just see how it works out for him. But he really, at all the gentlemen that came in and played at the Senior Bowl, I think this gentleman, Zion Young, edge out of Mizzou, really left a good impression on a lot of the scouts. And again, despite the fact that he, got into troubles. The troubles.
Yeah, that's part of being.
It's a part of it's
kids.
Kids. It's a part of being
They
young,
got problems
rather.
when they here in the league, so it's all there. But we'll see where the Cowboys decide to go with their first couple of picks. I don't know why, but I just feel like they're gonna go cornerback with the 12th.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like they are.
And
Do you think they'd go there instead of linebacker? I think if Sonny's sitting there.
Possible.
Sonny Styles. I don't
know.
I've heard the linebacker class is pretty deep as well, and that's why they might go for a corner.
I know Dallas. They got a lot of options.
Hey,
There's no reason to overthink this. There's so many. I'm telling y'all, the first round talent is rich in this class. I feel like Beamer, you can tell me. I feel like every year when we're doing who's really first round, grades, it's only
usually
about
there's like 14 to 16. First
that's
round.
it.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. We might see 20, maybe more in this class. There's real first round talent in this class. It's a little top heavy in certain places.
Yeah.
But
where it's top heavy though is where Cowboys have needs.
it's
correct.
rich. Yes, defensive end, linebacker, corner, all the stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff. Y'all gonna be stressed out on draft night.
Please don't piss me off. Not today.
Y'all gonna be stressed
Not
out.
on this lovely Monday.
I'm screaming.
That's got to be it for today, though. We got to go. We'll be back here on Mondays at 10 a.m. We are back to our normal schedules. Monday, 10 a.m. Come and sit with your girls. For Brianna Aldridge, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchinson. We'll see y'all back here next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?